Hey everybody, it's Horrible Hannibal here with a part 2 to my Zugzwang video. I wanted to go over a couple things, primarily because I thought that this video did a really good example. So his whole argument for why there should be artillery in the first place basically comes down to the fact that some games can kind of be a pretty slow slugfest where people build up their funds first. I think this actually works really well for the game because I think it works very realistic to how war actually works. Most wars are won in the preparation phase long before they're actually won in a war. And I think that the way that the economy works simulates that pretty well. So, like a good rule of thumb that I aim for is to just be making one fund more than my opponent. So, if my opponent's making one fund, I want to be making two. Which basically means that I'm willing to accept having one troop less on the field, assuming that we both are covering all our cities, which will allow him to hypothetically have a small troop advantage if we're both fully healed. But I am betting that by being able to cycle easier, as if he, for instance, goes to break even, then he can't cycle any troops without first letting that other troop reach the city, or he'll start going negative on money. And you can keep going up from there. If he had one fund, then he's able to cycle one at a time, etc. He tries the cheeky little naval thing. It's a Zugzwang, right? It's just this concept of giving your opponent no good options. So, like, right now, I have more funds than he does. I have more troops than he does. Attacking me is not very smart. I have my heavies in the north all on plains. They're surrounded by a bunch of forest. Figure it'll be hard to assail them. I have a bunch of heavies surrounding the plains and mountain area. It's like he's probing me for weakness. You notice that his funds have went flat. So not only do I have more troops than him now, more money than him, I have money coming in every turn. He has no money coming in. So even if we were to do nothing, I'm slowly gaining an advantage. Now he puts someone back on a city. He's finally got some money coming in. Now we're tied on funds, but I have more total troops and I have more total funds. I have a troop quality advantage here, so I start pushing that. I took a couple of different 2v1s there on the bottom side. I'm slowly pushing in. Now he wants to try to cut those troops off. I have to really make sure that that does not happen. But that's the Zugzwing of it. I'm pushing in. He feels like he has to do something about it. So he is going on the offensive when he's not in the position to be going on the offensive. I have more troops than him. I have better troop quality there. Like in the short span, we both had four heavies, but I have all those heavies right there to the right that I can cycle in. So once again, you see Blue's actually trying to cycle, and his funds are actually going down because he's trying to cycle. My funds are actually going down right now. For a second there, I'm not even sure why. I guess probably cycling myself. Um, Frankly, I think the only reason that ended up happening is I think I ended up hiring one more unit than I wanted to. Which is just one of my cycles actually hired when I didn't mean for it to. So, like, I feel like this is the type of game you mean when you mention artillery, right? Because it's a pretty slow brawl. This was one where we were definitely focused on building up our funds, but I was still the first one to go offensive. I just got myself into what I felt was a advantage advantageous situation first. You pulled out the heavies first, so the lights are faster. A lot of times people just pull all the troops out together, and if you do that, the lights will abandon your heavies. Once again, he's trying to probe for weakness. See, like he's moving a unit off of his back city. He is flat on funds, and he can't even afford another unit. That city doesn't need to be empty. I try to go for a pretty cool little circle around his city here. I think I could have set it up better if I had anticipated doing this and had dropped off a couple of boats on the other side, because I did not do that. I did not do this fast enough. I don't get the encircle, and a couple of my units really struggle. Um, Thankfully, I have so many more units than him. It does not matter. But it was a good little encircle on his part. That's the thing, though, because I have slowly been pushing this troop total advantage on him and slowly gaining advantages, much in the way that you would in chess, just stacking, accumulating little advantages. Now you see me, as I've started to lose units, that means I've opened up funds. So I'm going to cycle back my most damaged units to the city to heal up, but I also am opening up, sending all of my troops towards the front because funds are going to become available as troops are dying. So yeah, how long was I pushing that middle for? But as I pull back my push in top, I'm able to start shoving up through the mid. Look how many of those troops are caught. Even if he entangles a couple of mine, he's got multiple heavies. He can't pull back now. See, he's still got those two troops at the bottom there because, I spent so much time trying to push into that. Those lights down at the bottom aren't doing anything for him, but I was putting pressure there before. And so that's the thing. I switched where my pressure was. I was applying pressure in different spots. If I was applying pressure where I would have the advantage. It's basically how Napoleon did war. I mean, I'm no Napoleon, don't get me wrong, but that's the basic concept of what Napoleon did. He would weaken every flank he would attempt to not fight on, and then on the one flank he would add all of the units from the weakened flanks from, make his actual assault. And so basically, you only want to attack where you can actually have the advantage. I actually start getting some encircles here. Accidentally encircle myself once. So I mean, at this point, I have nearly triple his troop numbers. I'm sure he's got funds and he's recruiting, but those units aren't going to do anything for him in time with the amount of troops that I have. Like, funds no longer matter. It's too late. And that's what I meant before, where, there's also a, well, I shouldn't just say before, while we were talking in the Discord, this is what I meant as you're only playing the economy game so long, and then there hits like a break point where you aren't playing the economy game anymore. And so, I mean, at this point, he's making a valiant stand. The casualties are pretty high. We're looking at nearly a million casualties in a 1v1. It's pretty crazy. And that is it. I think that that is a great example of why artillery is not needed in the game. Thank you. Catch you guys next time.